Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be looking ahead to 2021 to see what Rockstar has in store for Grand Theft Auto Online. We have not only heard from some of the main developers of Grand Theft Auto Online, like the people actually making the content, but also from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2, who has some inside details on what Rockstar might be planning next. So let's actually start with an interview that Rockstar did with GQ Magazine. Now, this is something we talked about in a previous video in relationship to GTA 6, but in this article and in this interview, they also talk about their plans for what they're going to be doing really next in GTA Online. It seems like they have a specific theme that they want to keep going for. So let's actually dive into that right now. This is the first quote. The article says, perhaps the most appealing part about the update, though, is that it's designed to be played either solo or with friends. It's something that's been on our mind for quite some time, and the community has been vocal about it, Butcherd says. From a design perspective, the new island was a chance to balance the experience. It's something we're keen to carry forward. We want to respect teams and players who want to play co-op, but at the same time allow solo players to still get just as valid of an experience out of it. There's perks to both. If you go in there by yourself, you're taking 100% of the cut, and it's a lot easier to do stealth and plan when you're not on comms. With multiple players, you can split up and do multiple things at once, and you can take more secondary objectives. So I could send Tarek off to Control Tower to take down air defenses while I start looking for the cash piles. Okay, so just from that paragraph alone, it seems like, number one, Rockstar is listening to the community, even though they might not necessarily be as vocal about it as like going out and saying, hey, we're listening to you. These are some of the ideas that we're going to be implementing. I do believe they have their ear to the ground and they are listening to what people are saying, complaining, liking. So that's good news. And it also looks like going forward, whatever future DLCs we're going to see in 2021, I believe that the Cayo Perico heist has now set the stage that every update going forward will allow you to do it solo. So there's been a handful of updates in this game that allow you to enjoy the game solo, even some of the business ones like the biker update, gun running update, smuggler's run. Now, do they encourage you to use multiple players? Yes, they do, but in a perfect world, if you just wanted to be a lone wolf, you could totally tackle them on your own. And then there's been some updates that you just simply can't do without other players. The Heist updates, for example. The one back in 2015, the Doomsday in 2017, the Casino one in 2019, you had to have other people. And then some updates, like the Cunning Stunts and all the racing ones, that obviously requires other players to enjoy. So some have been solo, some have not been. And I think every update going forward now is going to have a soloable lone wolf element to it. And I think that's really good news, and it's good news that they also said it's something we're keen to carry forward, which I think definitely implies there's going to be more updates in 2021. Now, will they be as big and as extreme as the Cayo Perico heist? I would doubt it. We might see something bigger once the expanded and enhanced version releases in 2021, but I still think at least there's going to be more solo aspects of the game. And another thing I think they're going to introduce is more single-player elements in there. So we talked about this part, but let's go over it again. They said that seamless blend of solo and multiplayer seems to be where Grand Theft Auto is headed next. I think you can see that with online, and I think going forward, we're going to inject more of that single-player element in there. So I don't necessarily know what single-player element means, just being able to do it by yourself, more dynamic and vibrant characters that you see all about the world. I mean, like El Rubio, that's a huge new character. Everyone else that was featured on the island, that's like the stuff you would expect to see in single-player. So I think that's honestly what Rockstar is going for here. And I think one of the reasons behind it might be because they didn't do anything official for story mode, like with Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. So they're trying to give you that story mode-esque element, but in a multiplayer world, if that makes sense. Now, after that, we heard from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2 for a minute on something Rockstar might do in the future. So on the GTA forum site, he said, an interesting change I've noticed with this update. It's an adjustment to how new free roam encounters/missions, the ones introduced with the Summer Special Update, and the latest ones like the DJ missions and the Island Heist Preps and Scope Out missions are loaded. They were given a more sophisticated or a soft-coded format. There are offline versions of user-generated files for them now, much like the files you load to launch contact missions, races, adversary modes, heists, etc. After the release of the summer update, Rockstar seems to have made a free roam creator of some sort. Now it seems like that creator has received further improvements, and I think it was mainly made for the whole concept of scoping out the island in free mode. But I can see them utilizing it for future content too. Also, Rockstar seems to have made UGC files for the new DJs that handles the animation clips and audio tracks for their sets. I can see them featuring more DJs in the future. In other words, it's more feasible or plausible to expect more free mode encounters or possible new DJs. And Rockstar do love their DJs and musicians. I mean, they feature DJ Pooh, Dr. Dre is in this new update, not to mention the 3 new DJs that actually make an appearance at the Music Locker. So pretty big deal for Rockstar to feature all these musical creators. And it seems like there could be more of that in the future and more free mode encounters, like helping the DJs and doing various missions in Los Santos that aren't like generated or that you have to go through a loading screen in order to get to. Now, there was a little bit of discussion on if Rockstar actually used some cut Cops and Crooks content in this update. So one individual ended up saying, has anyone else noticed the potential similarities between Cayo Perico and the postponed Cops and Crooks theme, like raising your hands up when you get caught? I'm pretty sure I've seen something similar in 5M RP servers or mods. So if Rockstar was making a Cops and Crooks theme, it's not a huge stretch to assume they took inspiration from those very popular fan-made modes, right? With TezFuns2 saying, I believe that animation is used when you get busted in single player. It's nothing new. And there was a bit more conversation, like if the animation was the same, if it was just left over. Although, according to one user, Rolsha2282, Rockstar did revert the button for the arrest feature again from E to F with this update, which is strange. With TezFuns2 saying, I'm pretty sure the hands up animation before the cutscene plays the same one in single player. Going on to say they can adjust and specify which part of the animation could play on loop. And they can call the single player animation and play the part where the player raises up his hands. And then saying, speaking of that, it turns out it's just a task native, task hands up, that has existed since the game's release. So who knows if we will see any more of the Cops and Crooks content be released, or if it'll officially get its own update in 2021. But I would, of course, love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about what these Rockstar employees and developers had to say about the future, more soloable and single-player-esque content. What do you think about the interesting changes that Rockstar made in online that suggest, more DJs and free mode stuff could be coming soon? And do you think we'll ever see more of those Cops and Crooks content added into the game? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Cayo Perico and festive surprise content that I'll be doing here on my channel over the next couple of days and weeks. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.